Any information discussed is purely speculative. Guest opinions are their own and do not reflect those of anyone else. Where in the Folk is not responsible for content accuracy of any stories that are told or what people do with these stories. This show is vulgar, sometimes graphic, and due to its content, it should not be viewed by anyone actually.
Welcome to another episode of Where in the Folk. I hope everybody had a great week. It's been a couple weeks since we've been here. Disaster occurred last week. Mommies arrived and hurricanes arrived. We couldn't come on. If you didn't hear, we were hit by the outskirts of a hurricane in Kentucky last week, and I lost power. And I believe Tully's mom was up there, so he couldn't come on. So we just had to skip the whole week.
Yeah, and that's pretty rough hurricane. I mean, it's the fact that y'all got the wind velocity and everything that you did that far north and west is crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. Hey, Nick. And
hey, Nick. Hi, Landa. I mean, because to be sure, we literally got nothing.
Yeah, it's weird how it kind of just bypassed everywhere that was going to be devastated and hit North Carolina and all of us. Hi, Harrison.
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah.
And North Carolina is like completely decimated. There's like Chimney Rock is the town of Chimney Rock. It looked like it was gone. At one point, you could not access Asheville by land, like you had to go in by helicopter. It's a really strange storm that happened, and these videos of like the mudslides and stuff that were happening, it's intense, and there's a lot of people still missing, I reckon. A lot of people that's passed away because of it, so it's pretty rough. It's rough. It was unexpected, I believe, more than anything.
Exactly. Well, and you and I talked a little bit about it. Down here, we're used to being prepared for a hurricane because, like I said, every year from late March until late November, you're in hurricane season. So everybody keeps a little extra water, a few extra dry goods, and stuff like that, even when it's outside of hurricane season, just because you're used to having it. You guys and the people in North Carolina and Tennessee are not prepared for a hurricane.
No.
Why would you be?
Yeah, I mean, there's no point in being, except now when it comes 500 miles inland, it's strange.
Exactly. I grew up in a town that literally in my entire life, we never got a tornado because the town itself sits on a hill. So tornadoes would go around it, but they would never go through it until about 8 years ago. And one went through my brother's backyard and, killed a couple dozen people. I had an aunt and a cousin who completely lost their houses. The people next door to where I grew up lost their house. I mean, because, like I said, it just wasn't something we were prepared for. No matter how many tornado warnings we got, we never got an actual tornado until then.
Yeah, it's really strange. It is strange, but I guess we can move on to the topics that old Tucky had. We'll revisit this hurricane situation once done, when there's more information available. Nick's right. We almost had oceanfront property in Kentucky. I have always kind of wanted that, but I thought it was going to come at this climate change that they keep talking about. I didn't realize it was going to come at a devastating hurricane.
Right.
And
that's it.
I thought it was going to be a slow and gradual flooding, but it didn't appear that way.
It's funny because I've always told people I'm about 16 miles inland. So I always say if I get flooded, then everybody else down here is gone. But if you get flooded, then we're really.
Yeah, it's not cool.
No.
So we're Tully was a little sick when he sent out the stuff, I believe. I think we've hit some of these topics, and neither one of us are really 100% sure. So we're going to kind of freeball it tonight.
That's right. Every now and then you just need to.
Yeah.
We do.
I do know that we haven't covered this Feel Good Friday story that he sent. You want to hit
Okay.
that? Want me to?
Yeah. I'll take it. Hang on. Let me get right there. Okay, there was a lost cat. He was gone for 2 months, and he made a 900-mile journey home to California.
Wow.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. The feline is named Rainbow. 2 separate words, but it is pronounced rainbow. And he got lost in Yellowstone National Park during a summer camping trip. Nobody quite understands how it happened, but it happened. So they got Yellowstone, and they had their 2 cats with them. Said it was their first trip to the forest, and said, when they first arrived and got everything set up, the cat got startled and ran into the trees. Well, they looked for him for 4 days. Left out treats and all kinds of stuff. And then they finally just had to leave and go back to Salinas, California, which is up around north of San Francisco. And anyway, so August, they received news when a microchip company messaged them that their cat was at the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals in Roseville, California, 900 miles from Yellowstone. And he was only 200 miles from home when somebody caught him and got him scanned and everything. So they rode down and got him, picked him up. He had lost 6 pounds. But other than that, he was in great shape. Like I said, he was a little, rough looking because, of course, he's been roughing it for a couple of months.
Yeah.
But, so they figured, they honestly think that he was trying to get home and that he was almost there when they finally got him.
Lost 40% of his body weight. That's crazy. Poor little thing. Poor little thing.
Right? And and the thing is, they said that they had the tags that could be scanned and everything, but I think now they're talking about besides just micro shipping them, that now they've also fitted them with air tags, and that Rainbow also has a GPS global tracker.
Well, good for Rainbow.
That's right.
Like the rest of us. Good
Hey,
job.
That's right. Because I might have just hung out at Yellowstone. So, yep.
But
All right. What you got?
That's pretty cool. So an Italian woman has done the impossible by being born. She has a Italian woman's massive mouth muscle, which is the tongue, has earned her a Guinness World Record. With her tongue was confirmed to have a larger circumference than a ping pong ball.
Oh wow,
is that big?
Yeah, because that would be that big around.
Oh, okay.
Mine's kind of flat.
I don't know, but Amber Colina is 37 years old. She decided to apply for the records after seeing photos of Dante Burns, the former holder, the male version of the largest tongue circumference in the world. Her tongue was measured 3 times by doctors, and the average of 5.44 inches became the official measurement. I guess that is pretty big in circumference. That's wild. Dante's, let's see. She took the female version of the record from Oregon resident Jenny DeVander, who was awarded the title earlier this year with a measurement of 5.21. The male version, though, is still held by a Belgian Saka Fiener, whose tongue measures 6.69 inches in circumference. That's huge.
Yeah, that's like my face width.
I think that. Wow.
Yeah.
How would you talk? How would you talk?
Yeah. How would you talk? How would you eat? I mean, would you feel like you were choking on a regular basis?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Huh. I bet they got
strange. I bet they do. We'll have to do a little bit more research in there.
I'll have to look up when we're talking. But that's pretty funny to me. I don't know. Yeah. I always when I was a kid, I used to buy the Guinness book, right? Like the Guinness books. I always loved reading those.
Yeah, those are cool. Up in Gatlinburg, they have a Guinness museum.
I've been there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, it don't have all the stuff, but it's got some cool stuff.
When I was about 13 or 14 years old, we went down there. I don't know who did it, but they had the world's largest rubber band ball there.
hmm
And somebody pulled one of the rubber bands and it broke off.
Ooh. Ooh.
It was
Shame.
I'm not saying it was me, but my dad grabbed me by the arm and we had to leave really fast.
Oh, goodness gracious. Don't touch stuff.
But all kinds of cool stuff like that. They got a lot of Ripley stuff.
Yep. Yeah, they do. So,
Disneyland.
Yeah, that's right. So, online voting in Alaska's Fat Bear Week contest started after an attack killed one of the contestants.
Oh no.
Yep. Up in Anchorage, the voting started Wednesday in their annual Fat Bear contest. It's at Katmai National Park and Preserve, and they pick a dozen brown bears that have fattened up to survive the winter, and then everybody gets to vote on them.
Oh, I'm glad you specified it was an animal. I thought you was
Yes.
talking about somebody like me.
No. It's actually real live bears. So this is the 10th year that they've celebrated, and it celebrates the resiliency of the 2,200 brown bears that live on that preserve. It's in the Alaskan Peninsula, and it extends from the state's southwest corner towards the Aleutian Islands. So the animals like gorge on these sockeye salmon that come up river. And then, like I said, you know, they're the ones when you see them catching them in midair and stuff, it's usually there that they're taking those pictures. And so, like I said, you know, they start doing this getting ready for the winter. Well, a bear's death did delay the contest this year. So the organizers introduced the contestants on Tuesday, a day late, because one anticipated participant, a female bear known as Bear 402, was killed by a male bear during a fight on Monday. So they've got cameras set up everywhere, and the live stream footage of, you know, it catches them, you know, through the winter, through the summer. But they actually caught the killing, and they had actually also captured a male bear killing a cub that had slipped over the waterfall. So evidently this one, I guess, was a little bit of a problem child. So anyway, they got everything up and going, and I can't remember when the contest ends. Damn, some of them get up to 1,000 pounds.
That's nothing.
For a brown bear, it is. We're not going to talk about grizzlies and polars and all that. You know, these are relatively smallish bears. But anyway, like I said, I can't put my hands on the date that they finish it, but it should be in the next couple of weeks. They'll have their tally up to see who wins.
Wow, that's kind of wild.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got something from the royal family.
Oh yeah, I want to hear this.
Queen Camelia.
Yeah.
Apparently years ago had quite a terrifying encounter with a ghost. Ghost.
Really?
Yeah.
Do we know who it was the ghost of?
I don't know. We're getting ready to find out. I haven't read this either. But radaronline.com learned the royal family member's son, Tom Parker Bowles, opened up about his mother, who's and his father, Andrew Bowles, raising him and his sister in a haunted house while they were growing up. He's quoted from a podcast that he was on called Rosebud, where he says, My mother says she woke up one night in the middle of the night and there was a presence sort of pinning her down in her bed. And this is what he explained on there. So this was many, many years ago. So probably told the ghost where. So she's made of pretty strong stuff, he says. So she told the ghost where to go. According to his offspring, their Arlington, Westshire mansion was infested with so many ghosts that their dog refused to enter certain rooms and always had a coldness to them. There were lots of people who were very rational people who in the middle of the night would jump in their car and drive back to London because something had got in their bed and it was a spirit. Tom
Ooh.
says. So he says, he goes on to say, we would hear stories of banquets going on downstairs that people would always hear, but there was never anything there. There were rooms that the dogs wouldn't go into. You already said that. It was a quite big old manor, and the rooms that they ran past were always vacant. As a child, you would build up a fear of these rooms. He said it was always cold, even in the middle of summer. So if it's a big manor and it's in the middle of the house, it's likely to be cold, like a cave, wouldn't you think? In a way,
I would think, yeah. And hey, I'm all for cold.
Yeah, I am too. I like it.
Mhm.
They're probably appreciating it over there now because they don't have air conditioning. It's been hot.
That's right.
I don't want to live anywhere there's not air conditioning.
Ooh, me or you either. I know a few summers ago they were having like record highs up, in like Washington State and Montana and places that are generally cooler. And one of the girls that I used to work with at the time, she and her husband were staying in Seattle, I think she said it was, and she said nobody had air conditioning. And, she said you would even have expected maybe to have had a breeze any other time, and said, because it was just so hot. I'm like, not me.
No.
I have portable fans I carry with me on vacation. See, I have my ceiling fan, I have one of those tower fans, and then I have my face fan that I sleep with every night. And then I also have air conditioning.
Yeah. I don't know. I used to love hot weather, and now I'm just like, I don't want it anymore. Can't sleep, can't do anything when it's hot. It's insane.
That's right. It's too damn hot.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, I think it's kind of cool, that the upper echelons can also believe in ghosts and stuff.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, and I do kind of have to give her props for telling it where to go. So, yeah, that could go either way. But
I don't know.
So, yeah.
Well, but I don't much trust the royal family, so
no.
It's hard. This makes me believe in ghosts less.
Well, if it were her talking about it, I would probably agree with you. But because it's somebody I really never heard of,
yeah,
then I'm a little bit more apt to think, maybe something was going on.
Yeah.
But pictures speak 1,000 words.
Yep.
So, I want to see the photos, and not of her. I want to see ghostly photos. Yep. So, okay, here's you one. And, this doesn't affect everybody, but I'm sure people in Ohio aren't going to be real happy. But the Ohio regulators have stated that marijuana sellers cannot give out food from ice cream trucks.
That's bull.
Yeah. And they said that it's off limits to hand out food and drinks from ice cream trucks, and that they also could not use an online promotion that says, "Can you take me higher?" So they fined 5 businesses a total of $212,000 for violating the state's advertising rules for marijuana sellers. Evidently, they're pretty stringent up there. Yeah. And the thing about it is, they just passed recreational marijuana in August. I mean, so it's not like, this has been going on that long. But the largest fine was $150,000, and it was issued to Greenleaf Apothecaries. And they're in Akron, Cleveland, Columbus, Canton, and Wickliffe. So they also said that they were giving out, like I said, food and beverages, and advertising free ice cream on social media. Advertising, come get your smoke on and we'll give you ice cream. So,
I don't understand how that's not okay, because they're not making a profit from it. Are they like, these people are going for the ice cream and getting stoned? No, they're going for the weed and getting ice cream.
There you go.
Like the ice cream isn't going to persuade somebody like, hey, maybe I should smoke marijuana so I can get free ice cream.
Because ice cream is the gateway drug.
Ice cream is the gateway drug for sure. That's insane.
Yeah.
They would do that.
Yes, that is so damn backwards.
The thing is, if they sold it, it'd probably be fine. Like, they were like,
Yeah.
oh, we're getting taxes from that. But where they giving it out for free, they're like, oh, well, we need to make double money off that.
There you go. There you go. Anything they can't regulate, they can't regulate your ice cream intake if you're high.
No.
So, and they're not making any tax off of the ice cream if you're not selling it.
No. That's so trashy to me. Like, I feel like that the officials didn't want it to pass, and it passed anyway. So now they're trying everything they can to make life hard for people like that. That's
Well,
insane.
they passed medical down here 2 or 3 years ago, and the legislatures did not want to put it on the ballot, but they decided, okay, we're going to let the people decide. They really thought, because we're that little straight thing on the belt buckle of the Bible belt, that goes into the hole. They figured that it would get hands down not pass. 78% of the state voted for it, regardless of, it was even across parties and everything. So they took what they had allowed to pass, and then they basically just tore it apart to get rid of everything they possibly could. They took out conditions that had already been approved. They put regulations that were not there. It took them 6 months to let it go active from them tearing up the original bill and putting what they wanted in it.
I don't know. Linda did make a good point. See, she says it's probably because children would come to a truck. I can see that.
Yeah, I could get behind that. But, that's when you send in a little kid and see if they give them one. And then if so, then you take their license. Like they used to send minors in to buy beer at the little service station I worked at when I was in my early 20s. They were notorious for it. So, but, so I don't know. Maybe you have to come up with a different song or something to give out ice cream at the pot shop.
Here's your 20 bag, and here's your ice cream sandwich.
That's right. There you go.
I kind of don't want to eat ice cream sandwiches anymore. Used to, they would melt. Now they kind of just keep form. It's weird.
Yeah, I haven't had one of those in a long time, so that is weird. I bought some Sara Lee bagels one time, and the reason I bought these, they were soft. Most bagels are kind of hard, but these were soft, like fresh made. I forgot I had them, and one day I got an urge for a bagel, and I went and got them out, and I looked at the date. They had been expired for 6 months, and there was still not one piece of mold on these bagels.
Nice.
I have not eaten another Sara Lee bagel since, because nothing should stay good that long that's advertised as fresh bread.
We buy that keto bread. Well, we did, and we had some that had got pushed in the back of the cupboard, and we just forgot about it. When I found it, it's until how long it had been in there. It looked like the day we bought it.
See, yeah, that scares me. It really just does.
It shouldn't do that. Not at all. It tasted kind of weird, but
all right, Mo.
It was all right, I guess.
He's got it in his head that because you can cut the mold off of cheese, that you can just tear it off of bread. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. Throw the damn bread away. I'll buy you another loaf.
Is it not?
Yeah, no. Spores can permeate porous bread.
I don't know about spores. That's
it's got to be a man thing then. So, shoot. What you got?
All right. If Nick's still on here, that he'll love this one. A taxidermist turns rats into sexy showgirls.
Oh my God, that is so weird.
with nipple covers and fake eyelashes. So this taxidermist goes all out. Caitlin Hill, she's 36. I love how the people that do this weird stuff is like my age. You
Uh-huh.
know, it's kind of
Yeah.
strange. But Caitlin Hill is 36 years old, runs a business called Showtime Taxidermy for her home, where she sells quirky and bizarre rats for 148, whatever that symbol is, probably dollars. It's not a dollar sign though. The
Pounds.
rodents, probably. But the rodents are dressed and posed as glam performers, and it all began during a craft night 4 years ago. So she says she watched videos online, and when she made her first taxidermy with her daughter and her sister, and it was comically bad, as I would imagine it would be, but they loved it, and they had such a fun time. They did it again and again, and we made others. And then the natural step was, let's make it sexy and fun. Posing
Oh
pictures.
my God.
Now I gotta show a picture of this because
Yes, yes, you do.
I'm ripping it straight from the headline. So if you want to go and check it out, you can do that too if you're listening on audio only. But this is it.
Oh wow. Oh
That's
wow.
really intense.
It
Uh,
is.
But people apparently when they see them, they grasp or clutch their pearls to see what they made. So I mean, there's a business out there for everything, really.
Yeah.
Look at this
Yeah.
one right here. Look at that one.
Oh wow. I may just have to get me one of those.
I kind of want one now that I'm seeing them. I mean, it would be a good addition to the decor of the home. But
There you go.
I mean, that's
You
pretty.
know, okay. Props for originality and creativity.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's pretty cool. I mean, a lot of people don't like people messing with, the corpses of animals and stuff. But I mean, if I pass away tomorrow, do that to me.
Right?
Stand me
Okay.
up.
Here's my thing. As long as she's not going out and capturing rats and traps to kill them to make her stuff, I mean, I feel like as long as she is ethically obtaining them, I guess.
Yeah.
Which, of course, okay, I have this huge outright fear of rats, so I'm okay with her killing them. But from rats, you might end up going to dogs or cats, and so I would like to think that they were ethically obtained.
Sad stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Well,
rearranged my stuff in here, and I've moved to this side of the room, and now I can't hide my cigarette anymore. Like I don't know how to do it.
you don't have movies behind you.
They're over there.
Okay. All right. Yep. That's okay. You'll change it again next week because I changed mine a couple of months ago and it didn't last. I mean, I've literally made a little bit of an angle that I didn't used to have, but it's still the same otherwise. Let's see. Back a couple of weeks ago in Florida, they had their annual Python challenge.
Python challenge.
That they do. They get all of these snake wrestlers and they go out into the Everglades. Grand prize is $10,000 and it's a 10-day hunt. And they use it to bring awareness to the threat that these animals have to the ecosystem. And he took out, what was it, 20 Burmese pythons this year.
Wow.
Yep. There were more than 800 people from 33 states in Canada that participated in the challenge. And all total, they removed 195 Burmese pythons from the wild. And then everything that they took in above the 10,000 is divided up against, with the rest of them. Let's see. One guy got a $2,500 prize for catching 19 in the professional category. And then they have, the longest was like 8 feet and 11 inches. And then there was one that was, hang on, 16. There was a military category. That's what I was looking at. And so, like I said, they have all these different things, but people get these snakes. Little Johnny wants one for his birthday.
Yeah.
And they're this long. They don't realize that when a python or a boa constrictor is at full size, they eat no less than a full-size rabbit a day.
Yeah. I don't know. That's one thing I've never had the desire to have. I'm not afraid of snakes, surprisingly.
Yeah.
But the upkeep on them is just, it seems like a little bit much.
Mm-hmm.
And if it gets out, I don't want to have to wake up in the middle of the night and have to fight a snake.
Been there, done that. I've been bitten a couple of times because we used to have ball pythons when Stephen was little. Before I ever met Mo, I worked in a pet store that specialized in snakes. So, I had snakes, for years before I ever met him, and he was horrified of them for the longest time. And then, his 5-year-old walks up to him with one in his hand and says, "I want one of these," So, but they, but a ball python at most only gets about 3 feet long.
Yeah.
But, a boa constrictor urinates and defecates like a horse. This is not, for the light-hearted. And then people, once they start getting a little too big or they get scared of them, because that's when we ended up getting rid of ours, is I was feeding one and I startled it and it bit me. And then after that, Mo didn't want anything to do with them,
Yeah.
But so they just throw them out in the local wild, in the local waters and everything. And they're not indigenous to this area. So they actually end up taking out the local indigenous species. And, so, yeah.
Who was it telling us about the crossbreeding of snakes down there? Was it Stephen or Tully?
Stephen and I were talking about it because I killed one a couple of years ago. And yeah, it's like a hybrid between a moccasin and a copperhead. It's got more of the moccasin shape and everything and mouth, but then it's got the coloring of the copperhead.
That's all we need. Let's start just crossbreeding snakes until we have one that's 25 feet long and venomous.
That's right. That's called a basilisk. I saw it on Harry Potter one time.
Well, that's insane to me. Like, I don't know. There's not much wildlife that I'm terrified of, but where these, I guess it's where the environments are changing, which they do that over time anyway. Like grizzly bears, they're huge and aggressive. Like that's going to happen with snakes. It already happens with like dogs, coyotes, and wolves. Like I don't know. The whole situation is getting a little out of control.
Right. Well, and that's the other thing, a female python can lay between 50 and 100 eggs at a time. If half of that survives, you're talking a big clutch of new pythons. And I'm the same as you. There are not a lot of things that I'm scared of. Like I said, snakes don't bother me at all. I don't like bugs, but the only thing I'm really scared of are spiders. And I'm better than I used to be. As long as I can see them and they stay away from me, I'll let them live. But if they get too close, they have to die.
Spiders don't bother me much either. I don't know. It's just these weird animals like we're seeing real life cryptids starting to come to life. Like I don't know. It's going to be interesting few decades.
Oh yeah. Well, as more and more habitat disappears, I think you're going to start seeing more and more of them. And then, like you say, you've got all of these things that are interbreeding that you wouldn't think about.
Yeah.
And who knows what's going to come from all that.
I was going to cover this, but this is extremely long. I might condense this. So on a future episode, in Florida, a mom and son used their real estate business as a front for their pretty woman prostitution empire.
Wow.
Florida's a I won't go
Florida
into
is.
it. A Florida
I
man
know.
and his mother. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
A Florida man and his mother jointly ran a sprawling prostitution ring nearly a quarter century, 25 years, say 25 years.
Mhm.
And they washed hundreds of thousands of dollars via their company, which was a real estate company. Based on the intelligence gathered, apparently the evidence obtained from the records, there is reasons to believe that Margareta Van Lambert is using her Florida realtor's license to basically launder the illicit proceeds for her son Christopher Jelvek for the prostitution ring. I mean, it's kind of genius in a way, right? Like, they got away
So,
with it for 25 years.
so is she prostituting her son out?
No, the son runs the prostitution ring, but
Okay, gotcha.
They laundered the
Gotcha.
money to the mother's real estate business.
Okay, gotcha.
They were
Yeah.
arrested back in September, shortly after Jelvik bought a plane ticket to Brazil in the middle of the night. So he was trying to dip out of town, like,
Let mom take care of it. You know, she's old. They'll let her go. Wow.
there's so much to this. I like to re-hit this.
Yeah, definitely.
They've got a picture of the complex, like it's a massive building. All right, yeah, that's gonna be a fun.
Yep. You need to send that to Tully to add to it. So, in the Henan province of China, an unnamed boy had been telling his parents for 2 years, minimum 2 years, that he smelled something bad, and they could never figure out what the problem was. They couldn't smell it, and the 7-year-old couldn't really describe the smell, so they just kind of ignored him and figuring, he was just making it up. Well, his complaints became more frequent in the last few weeks, so they decided to take him to the doctor. And the doctor examined the boy's nose and found a mysterious black mass. So they ended up doing a CT scan, only to find out that the kid had a screw lodged in his nostril, and this growth had formed around it, and that's what he was smelling.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, kids do that stuff all the time.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I actually had a cousin when we were little that stuck a bead in her ear because she wanted pierced ears and didn't realize the hole went through your earlobe and not in your ear. So she just shoved a bead down there, and her sister and I sat there crying for hours thinking they were going to have to cut her ear off to get the earring out. And she came back and she'd had ice cream and candy and she was in the best mood. And then we were pissed off at her because we didn't get ice cream and candy.
I don't know if this contribute to my eye problems or not, but when I was a little kid, if I could find something that was thin and metal, I would stick it in my between my eye and my nose, and push it back there as far as it could go until it hurt.
Ooh. Kids are weird.
Yeah, I agree.
Mean, kids are weird. So
they could contributed to it. I don't know, but I can hardly see now. Like, so
yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
Well, here you go. A genius uses a massage gun on his eyes and suffers from lens dislocation. So there you go. There might be something to that.
Can that really happen?
Well, that's what they said, that a Chinese man who frequently used a massage gun on his face and eyes had to undergo surgery after suffering lens dislocation and developing cataracts at the age of 42. He was a fitness enthusiast from Wuhan, and he purchased a battery-powered massage gun at the recommendation of a fitness instructor who told him it would work wonders on his tired muscles. Hitting the gym, he was looking for a way to relax, and the massage gun was great. So at one point his eyes were bothering him, so he figured, okay, well, I'll massage them too. And that worked out till it didn't.
I do that. I literally do that. I got one of the RX guns, like the big one, and
Yeah.
like I'll hit my temple, I'll hit right back here, and I do hit my eyes with it.
Mhm.
So damn.
It has crossed my mind at one point. You know, I get migraines.
Yeah,
to
that's
get
what
to put my TENS unit on my neck and my temples, and I was sitting there reading it, and the first thing it says was "Do not use on head," and I'm like, you know, that is a kind of electroshock therapy. So I backed off of it.
That's when I use it on my forehead and stuff, like when I got bad sinus pressure. So that sucks. Now I can't do that anymore. Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah. Yeah, you might want to stop that.
But now that I'm thinking about it, that's why they have the warnings for this, like the stupid warnings they always have because of people doing stuff like that, I guess.
Right.
Now that
That's
I think
right.
about it, it does seem like a bad idea.
That's right. That's it. In hindsight, when I could see before I was blind.
Wow.
Yeah, Landa, I have put it on my neck because that's actually why the doctor gave it to me, was for when I've got real bad stress going on, I get worse migraines. So he actually gave it to me to help with that. But yeah, I've been real tempted to put them on my templates before. And because, you know, the first time they did it was actually at the chiropractor's office. I was rear-ended and they put those on there. But the ones they used, they actually dipped in water first. And that's what Mo said when I told him about it. He goes, they literally just gave you electroshock therapy. I'm like, it worked, you know. So.
Nothing works better than a TENS unit. I love my TENS unit.
Yes, me too.
I love to have one like they use at a chiropractor. Those things get up there.
Yeah, well, the one I've got is actually a high-end one because at the time insurance wouldn't pay for them, and it cost a damn fortune. But it's been worth every penny of it. I've had it for 15 years, and I've never gotten above the number 2 on it. And I've had other people, oh, I can do it, and they get up to about 2, and they're like, oh my god, you know, because it's just that strong.
Yeah, yep. Fun. I don't know.
Yep. So yeah, we probably shouldn't, you know, sit around thinking of things to do to ourselves. No. Between us, we could come up with some stuff.
I'm kind of wanting to put it on the bottom of my foot to see what happens.
Well, yeah, I could see that. So here you go. A 20-year-old Taiwanese man got so mad because his mother threw away his prized manga collection without his consent. And he took her to court and then refused to reconcile with her.
I don't blame him. I mean, keep yourself other people's stuff.
Yep, said she was 64 years old, and her son had a 32-volume Attack on Titan manga collection. They were living together, and the woman got fed up with his ever-growing comic collection, so she stumbled across the collection and decided that they were a little damp, so she decided she'd recycle them and free up some much-needed space.
Wow. Yeah, I'd be pissed, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Let Mandy throw away my comics, and I will take her ass.
Yeah. See, I don't do comics. Well, okay. I've got the Walking Dead comic collection.
I got a few of those.
Well, I got damn lucky. Do you have an Ollie's store up there?
We do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
the reason that I go to Ollie's is because they have a book section that is insane, and their books are like so cheap. I mean, you can get hardbacks for like $2 or $3.
Oh, nice.
Well, I walked in there one day and they had the entire, it was a 4-volume set that had all of the comics broken up into it. I got the whole set for $10. So I'm like, sold.
Yeah, that's a good deal. I was buying them when they were coming out, and they were not like that.
No, well, I had a friend that was buying them because, you know, they'd come out with the little omnibus ones that had like 10 versions in it.
Yeah.
And she'd buy them as soon as they came out and then pass them around and we'd all read them. So, but a friend of mine had given me, back when, do you remember the show Firefly with Nathan Fillion?
Yeah.
Okay, they actually did a 3-volume comic book set when that was actually a series, and a friend gave me a set of them, and I let somebody look at them and never saw them again. So now if you take anything from my house, you have to sign it out. So, that way,
Well,
because that was his thing. He's like, I don't have that. And
yeah.
like, yeah, you do have that. So yeah, I lost something that I now can't get, asshole.
I wish I would have done that with movies back in the day. But it looks like it's about that time, right? What time is
Yeah.
that? Clock.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a quarter till. Yeah, quit
All right.
putting the massager on your eyes.
Yeah. So thank you all for tuning in tonight. Sorry we wasn't here last week. Circumstances happen. We couldn't let Morgana come on here alone. So
I'd have done it though, damn it. I'd have done it. You might not have ever had another listener, but I'd have been here if you'd have asked me to.
But that's going to be rare. We're not going to do that much anymore.
Yeah.
No, we're working on some long form stuff, so hopefully we'll have that soon. I think Tully's still trying to work out dates. I've not heard anything about it with a follow up to that one that you guys did, the McKinley.
Yeah,
Manor?
the McCamey Manor. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He was supposed to be talking to a couple people.
I think he's still working on that, but schedules are rough in October for me. What do y'all have going on Awakenings tonight?
We are talking about Strange Georgia.
Strange Georgia.
Yep.
That's going to be a good one. So if you're watching this, tune over on Weird Realities Network to watch Weird Awakenings tonight in about 16 minutes, probably at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, 6
I'll
o'clock.
Try to be on time.
Pacific.
There you go.
But we do appreciate y'all coming in, and if you ever feel the need to support the show, you can buy us a coffee up there. So
I always go the wrong way.
I do too. I don't know my left from my right. But anyway, as always, thank you all for watching us, because we are all watching you.